think a lot of times it is easy just because we get, oh, we're so busy, or oh, we're too busy. If I can be scrolling on TikTok for an hour, I can be at an event for 1 hour. Like, it's terrible, but it's true. You know?
That's what we want to do here. We want to take you to the next level. We want you to achieve your goals.
Today we have my very good friend, Lindsay Crist.
It's me.
There we go. Lindsay Crist. She is the current, going to be almost a former president of GRYP.
You got it.
That's Greater Reading Young Professionals, right here in Reading, Pennsylvania. And she also currently works at the Reading Public Museum right here in town.
Yeah.
And I love Lindsay because she was a client. Well, she's still a client of mine. Gave me a chance to really rock the GRYP website. And we've actually had good conversations, and she's definitely a participator. She's coming for videos, meetings, podcasting, and lives. So thank you very much for coming in and doing this once again.
Having me and making me part of your world over here. I mean, you have like such a great following and such a great presence in the community, and it's great to be able to piggyback off that too. So.
Right on. Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Why don't we start the show off by, telling us what's up with Lindsay, what you doing, what you're up to. Like, give us a little bit about yourself.
Well, about myself, I think I'm a workaholic, and that's why I get involved with all these different community causes. And on top of working at the museum, I'm over at Austin's being a server as well. And I volunteer with Girls on the Run and Junior League and Junior Achievement. So I'm very, have my toe in kind of everything, and I kind of like to stay busy. So I'm just kind of bopping around and, trying to do as much in the community as possible and being relevant and being in the know. So
That's awesome. What did you go to school for?
Oh, I was an English major. I ended up taking away my minor in education, thinking I was going to go into marketing. And then I went abroad for a year and taught for a year in Korea. And then I came back and got my education certification. So I was teaching for a little bit. And then when I moved down here to Reading, I was subbing in the area, and I took an internship at the museum in the marketing department. And then everything kind of snowballed from there. And now I'm fundraising for the museum and planning their internal events. So kind of been all over. I feel like I always tell people I've lived a lot of lives. I've worked as a lifeguard. I've worked on a welding team. I've been a teacher. I've done all these things, and I'm kind of eclectic that I can bring, I feel like, a lot of experience and a lot of experience to the table when I can connect with other people. And that's why I do enjoy getting involved with these different groups, because I kind of feel like I can talk to people about different things and different aspects, and I've experienced a lot. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like my life's boring.
I know. She's like, I don't know if you really want me on here because I'm not that interesting.
I'm not that interesting. I went to Korea, taught people.
I feel like now all I do is work and and whatever. But
oh my gosh. So today's topic, guys, for those who don't know, is face-to-face marketing. And I think now with a little bit more backstory, I feel like you definitely are like perfect fitting for this topic. For those who don't know, face-to-face marketing is pretty much, you're kind of like putting your product or service out there in person to people, versus face-to-face networking, which is what I feel like GRYP was really good at, is helping young professionals get to know each other solely for the idea of like getting more contacts, getting more out there with people in your community, and kind of just putting your face out there in a sense. So like, can you tell us a little bit more about GRYP, what you guys are, just all things
so
GRYP.
GRYP, the Greater Reading Young Professionals, like Freddie said, we're just a group of, our kind of tagline I always say is, we're a like-minded group of individuals who just want to make Reading a better place to live, work, and play. And really, we're just a group of, 25 to like 40-year-olds who just want to get to know the community more, meet new people, do events, go out in the community, get to know the different businesses available to us, and different opportunities. And we also want to do some good in the community. So each year we pick a different community cause to focus on. We do fundraising, we do volunteering with them, and just kind of bring more light to them so that more of the community knows about them too. So just a group to get together. We've done everything from just happy hours to big fundraisers, to volunteer opportunities down at Habitat with building, helping to build the houses and stuff. So we have a wide variety of activities to do, and it kind of fits the need of whatever you're looking for. We even have at least 3 different sports leagues each year. So there's another aspect of getting involved too. It's not just, oh, I have to do this for my business. It's kind of like a fun opportunity too. So
Yeah, I liked everything that GRYP was doing. Obviously, built the website, so I had to learn about everything.
You learned a lot about it, yeah.
GRYP did. But it also made a lot of sense. What's up, Mike? For you guys to know, when the door opens when we're doing these things, it's always Mike. Mike's our local postal carrier. Thanks, Mike. You too, brother. He always comes in at the right time. He's a great guy, though. I love Mike. He's awesome. So I did learn a lot about GRYP, being the web developer of the website, which is awesome. I like the fact that you guys do a lot of things all year, where a lot of you people out there local in the area, if you're younger than 40, like Lindsay says, I'm too old for this.
And you don't have to be under 40. It's open. We don't shut it off at a certain age. It's open to everybody who wants to connect and get to know the community.
That's you,
but
I can still
on
do
the
it.
board, we do say you should be under 20 or under 40 on the board.
Okay, so
But
I'll never be a
everybody's
board
welcome.
member.
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, but I dig what they're doing, though, because a lot of their places around, a lot of networking groups, they don't do much. They really don't. I mean, I'm not calling anybody out, but you go to your meetings. Hey, how you doing? I'm Freddie Vasquez. I build websites. Blah, and you're done. Maybe you don't. I mean, that's pretty much what networking is.
Yeah.
And as far as my, the networking group I'm president of, BCNA, we tried to instill a lot of things that you guys were doing for a while now, especially the events. And being that we're talking about face-to-face marketing, believe it or not, you'd be surprised at how much of that comes into play when you're not just doing meetings.
Right.
Like I tell everybody, you ever want to really learn about somebody or really connect with people and build those relationships, go grab a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like those happy hours you guys have.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but when I have 1 or 2,
You loosen
I'm
up.
good. Yeah, and I'm like,
kinda
what's up?
yeah.
My shoulders are down, they're not always up, and you're honest with each other. And when that honesty comes out and transparency is there, you'd be surprised at how then the networking follows after that. But that marketing at first, because, I mean, let's be honest, you always want to talk to the cool person in the room. And then once you do that in a nice setting, then the networking happens. And that's when the business happens. So GRYP definitely does a great job at doing that.
Thank you. We try. And right now it's been kind of hard with COVID and everything. A lot of our in-person events have been shut down because we don't want to also go into businesses and take up extra space, I feel like, too. So we are looking, we've done some Zoom meetings and some Zoom events, but it's just not the same. Takes away from, obviously, the face-to-face and that experience of be able to read people. That opportunity to see how people, really react to you and the inflection in their voice is there and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think something that you said was really good, just the idea of, loosening up around people, because we always wanted to put our best foot forward when we're meeting people in networking events, but it's really easy to kind of lose sight of just your natural persona and letting that shine through. Because normally we always tell Freddie people like your business because they like you,
right?
And so the more genuine you are, and I feel like you said you have 1 beer or 2 and you're just okay, I don't need to have all the nerves. I can just be myself.
Sure.
And, people really appreciate that. And then I feel like those events, you guys, like you said, when I was in a philanthropy chair, I think even the unity that you bring, to the group when you guys serve together, and then it's really impactful. And then also you're able to just, I lost my words.
Well,
just building a connection.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you could piggyback off that all day. I mean, I've walked in on one of your happy hours, which was great because Lindsay was loose. Because I walked in, she gave me a big hug.
As usual.
She was like, "Hey, Freddie." And I'm like, "Hey, Lindsay. I've never seen you outside of the meeting." It was great. There was a big hug, and we talked for a few, and then other people were just talking to me just because I was hanging out with my buddy Stefano. We were there,
Oh, okay.
and we were just hanging out, and then I started meeting other people, and I wasn't even expecting to do any marketing and networking that evening, but you go into that and you have a couple and you just, and you don't have to drink. It's just me. But, yeah, man, I think it's really important to go do those things for your business. I think a lot of people don't understand that just going out and representing yourself well is a representation of your business. That's why when I even go out to Target, I might like to wear weird T-shirts, but I'm always wearing a fleece to cover up a T-shirt in case, I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't be wearing this T-shirt out in public. But no, man, I think there's a lot to be said about meeting in person, hanging out with people in person. And it's a lot of things that people don't really talk about because they're thinking, well, what kind of social media can I do today? Or what kind of marketing can I do today? Should I be sending out these postcards? Should I be redoing my website? Blah, 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 blah. The funniest thing is that if you have just a really good business card and you look good as far as like keeping yourself well groomed and just go out there and meet people, you'll do a lot of damage that a lot of people can't do.
Yeah. And I feel like when you look at the differences even between the marketing versus networking aspect, I feel like it's easy for people, like the idea, again, like you're presenting yourself either in a relation aspect or a sales aspect. So like, you as like a tip for people going out there, you want to kind of use it as a networking opportunity in order to lead to a marketing opportunity because you come off and you're like, hey, my name is Whitley and this is what I do and this is how much it costs and let's book it now, versus getting to know you and like going for coffee. And then I just happen to mention I do photography and then one day it like leads into something, So I think that's something too that I was reading up on the misconceptions of understanding what the purpose of networking is and how you can use that to market yourself.
I always think of Freddie when I'm out and around because he's always taking pictures of where he's at and tagging everybody and making sure everybody knows like this is the best place to be. So not only is he using it as like a marketing tool for those businesses and for himself, but he's also just creating like the relationships like you've said. He probably had the relationship and then is now using that as the the business marketing piece. So going over to Adam at Benchwarmers, you start with the friendship and now I'm over there all the time and I'm taking these pictures and posting that, hey, I'm getting my coffee, I'm getting my donuts, and Freddie does an awesome job with that. And I think that's always something that's like really admirable because you're not getting paid for that. You're just, you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart because you like those places and you want the area to look good.
Right. And it's branding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the brand.
Yeah.
Branding is, you try to sit there and you try to put like a definition on branding or marketing or networking. It's really hard to do that. I think people just get lost in specifics of everything.
Yeah. What color are you using? What font are you using? But it really is just your personality coming out.
And those things are important because we're doing TikToks on that.
Right.
It is important.
Right. But it is important.
Yeah, right. It's really blue here. Yeah.
But it is your personality just shining through.
And and man, I cannot stress enough how important that is. I mean, let's just be really transparent. Why are you even sitting here?
You asked, and I don't say no very often. I struggle with that. But I do. I just want you to, I want you to shine. I want my group to shine, and it's good PR for us. So, yeah. Right.
And it's just a good conversation. It's a good relationship. Like, I'm not saying we hang out every day, but for certain, we can talk to each other.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. She's like, hey, Freddie. I'm like, I'm talking to you tomorrow. I'm like, what's up? But I love that aspect of business, and it goes back to that Michael Scott quote, which I still talk about all the time. People say business isn't personal, but it's probably the most personal thing you can do with people outside of like, getting married.
Right.
It's so huge.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of trust in those people. I mean,
hell yeah. You're literally trusting people with some aspect of your life, whether it's like, oh, I want you to join GRYP and I'm going to recommend you to join this professionals group, and if I'm telling people that, I need to make sure that group that I'm referring to is worth their time. Right. Because how does that reflect on me if it's a terrible time? Right. Or if nothing good happens at that place? Right. Like, you can't get any more personal than that. I mean, I don't know about you guys. guys.
It's definitely like how you are spending and giving your time. I mean, those couple hours at a GRYP event, they could have been spent anywhere else, but you chose, or I chose to be there, and I found it to be, very rewarding because I did meet a lot of people. I'm not from the area either. So for me, when I moved here not knowing anybody, I mean, joining different groups was kind of the nudge of my boss saying, if you're going to be fundraising, you need to know businesses and you need to know the people around the area. Well, my first step was to join GRYP, and I mean, I met so many different people and so many business connections through it, both current members and past board members and past members who would come into events every once in a while, that it really did help me connect to the area. Now 7 years later, I own a home and I'm building a life here, even though I didn't know where that life coming here was going to look like, when where that was going to go.
I think what you said is good. It's like the idea that you could be anywhere else, you know, and sometimes, like we were saying, it's easy to get tired of like the meetings or the events, or we find that there's low participation sometimes or whatever, but I feel like it's that idea, like you get what you put into it, you know, and being intentional with your time, and realizing that you're having the intention of not only benefiting you but benefiting the group, and also it allows your community to be smaller. I'm going to play that whole like little spiel right to the board members again, because it's important to know that your time should be intentional. And if you're going to be on the board, if you're going to be coming to these events, it should be intentional, and you got to make those commitments and make it somewhat of a priority in your life. I don't want it to take over your life. Like, I have to go to this networking event to, meet one new person each month, but it is really like the way you spend your time should be intentional, and it should be, worth your while too. Because it's just like anything in business, like everything is sacrifice, like, I know that even Freddie says all the time, like when you're a business owner, you don't work 40 hours a week, so you're sacrificing time, you're sacrificing money, you're sacrificing all that. So it shouldn't change if you think that this certain like group or this certain event is going to be worth it for you, beneficial to you. So then you sacrifice, and then that's like the benefit, the give and take. And I think a lot of times it is easy just because we get, we're so busy, or we're too busy. If I can be scrolling on TikTok for an hour, I can be at an event for 1 hour. Like, it's terrible, but it's true, you know? Because not only are you meeting somebody new or networking, you're also supporting the local economy, and you're supporting those businesses too. So it's just another way to look at it. Yeah, I think like also it's awesome when you do start to shrink your area, like when I've moved here from Philly, I didn't know anyone either. And it just seems so like vast and large. And then I moved to West Reading and lived there for a year. And even just like learning the people on the Ave, it creates a much more like closer, it feels closer, even though you might not be best friends with everybody. To where then it's like, like I know Peter from Barley Mow, and we have like talks and and then you go down to Allison and I see her and just talk to her, it's even beneficial to you and your just like life, to be able to be a part of your community in that way. Yeah, you don't know who's going to be able to be a resource to you later if you need something. So
big time. And for the young entrepreneurs out there, you guys, I have a great question for you, because you did say that you moved here 7 years ago. You knew not a soul. So how did you get the cojones, as they say, to go out there and go, okay, I'm going to choose this. I'm going to meet people here. Like, what's a tip for young entrepreneurs out there that are, they might be a little afraid to like start, face-to-face marketing or networking? Yeah. Not many people think it, but I am definitely an introvert. I do not get my energy from meeting new people and being out there. I get it from being at home, being quiet. But my biggest takeaway is just do it. I mean, if you know something's out there, you're not going to get any better staying at home and being quiet and not meeting people. You just have to go out and do it and be part of something, and put your energy towards it, because that's the only way you're going to be able to grow.
not knowing anybody, it was kind of a job requirement to meet new people in the fundraising and event world that I'm stepping into. And my boss was like, you got to join some groups and get to know people and, learn. And that's exactly what I did. And I wouldn't look back for a second. So yeah, I mean, just do it. Just have a shot before you go out if you need to. I don't know.
It's definitely hard.
If you need to.
It's definitely hard, man.
But it is hard. It's really hard. And I still get nervous going to events. I was nervous coming here, and I know I've talked to you guys. Like, I'm always nervous. I always get anxious and worried. But it is like you gotta like rip off the Band-Aid, and then you're going to meet one or two people, and they'll snowball into more and more, and maybe you'll be the president one day.
It happens, man. I've seen it happen. You gotta, you gotta rip off the Band-Aid. You gotta jump in the pools. I tell everybody, that's my thing. Jump in the pool, man. Water's going to be cold, but then it warms up. And you're just fine. Just fine. Yeah, it's very important to get out there. I know for me, I started, 2016? I mean, I've been here for 10 years. But 11 years now, but 2016, come to a networking meeting. And I remember going in there with a shirt and tie, slacks, looked like a herb, man. I
can't even imagine it.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, I guess I should wear a shirt and tie, doing that whole thing. And that was rough to go into that group. And then we tried another one, which was BCNA. And I guess the one thing I would definitely say for me is, I'm not saying you should look like a slob, but definitely be comfortable, and definitely maybe wear your heart on your sleeve, or wear your your style of who you are. Because like the next meeting I went to, I literally just had jeans and a flannel.
And you felt better being
buttoned
there.
up, right? And I was more comfortable. If you're always, first of all, if you're uncomfortable wearing stuff, how do you expect to do anything or talk to anyone? So definitely be comfortable. And I'll tell you one thing: you may sit there and go, well, who's going to want to talk to me if I don't look like everybody else? Right. You'd be surprised at how quickly nobody's going to care about what you look like, or tattoos, or hair color, or whatever, as soon as you just start talking and giving them something to pay attention to. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you can do that, you're fine. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm in Philadelphia, Phillies country. I have Mr. Met tattooed on my arm. It's not the best thing to be, hey, my name is Freddie Vasquez, I'm from New York, and I hate the Phillies.
And I love the Mets.
So, let's do business together. I know. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's definitely on you to do that.
And there's, I mean, especially specifically to GRYP, there are different ways to get involved. You don't have to, if you don't drink, don't come to a happy hour, but there are different avenues for you to get involved. If you want to volunteer, go to one of the volunteering events, or the sports leagues is a great icebreaker for people. I did kickball for the first time a couple of years ago with all of the guys from the Royals office. I didn't know a single soul. We had one meeting. The one kid was like, hey, come play kickball. It's like, I haven't played kickball since I was in 5th grade.
Pretty much.
So then you're nervous, and then you're like, ooh, what do I do? And that was a huge icebreaker. I mean, it's just kind of maybe throwing yourself into something you're not quite comfortable with, or finding the avenue that you are really comfortable with and that fits your personality and your business, or your your goals to actually like get involved with. And it doesn't have to be GRYP. There's tons of different organizations out there, especially in this area. I feel like every other day there's a new nonprofit to get involved with, whether it's a committee or a board or something, just as a volunteer, done in a day volunteering activity to get involved with. So
one thing, when you're talking about introverting, like you're an introvert and I'm not, so like the first thing I did when I moved here is I scoured the entire internet for like young adult groups when I was first getting here, because I didn't know anyone, and there was none. So that was really disappointing. But one thing my dad did say growing up a lot was show yourself friendly and you'll make friends. Whenever we would go, because we moved around a lot when I was younger, and we always were the new kids. And but just that idea is as long as you go in there, and like you said, perception is reality. If you don't talk to anyone, people are going to instantly think you're stuck up, which is really sad, because you just are scared. But they're thinking, oh, well, that new guy over there is not talking to me, so he must be full of himself. Right. Or think he's better than me. That's, and again, they could think, oh, he's just scared. But I feel like a lot of times they start to formulate opinions of you because you're not saying anything. But if you just take a deep breath, maybe take a shot, go in there and just say, hey, my name is Whitley, and da 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 da. And I feel like then they're like, oh, they're really nice. Like instantly, the reality of you changes, which is kind of crazy. And I think what you said about like the kickboxing, which is fun, or not the kickboxing, kickball. It's just fun because in psychology they say that like the most intimate things you can do with someone is to laugh, cry, and then maybe I think it's pray or something like that. But laughing, like if you can get into a group or like a league or something where you're laughing with people and creating that camaraderie, then there's going to be a lot more like easily like comfortableness for you.
Most definitely. I think you need to get comfortable with that and meet people. And camaraderie, it comes with going to these events.
Right.
I mean, that's the one thing that people forget too. Look, on top of face-to-face marketing and networking, you make some good friends and good friends on your level. And I've had that conversation more than once with my wife on how, like, you know, people you grew up with or people you used to hang out with, it's people change, people develop different ways. And for me, the number one thing that came out of networking and marketing besides business and all that was the friendships. And believe it or not, when you surround yourself with people that are on your wavelength or maybe even more successful than you, your success starts to go that way too.
Right.
You know, so who you surround yourself with every day is not only a representation of yourself, but it's a representation of who you're going to strive to be. Right. So by hanging out with people that are trying to do exactly what you're doing and they're successful, let me tell you, man, it definitely it riles you up. It riles me up.
Yeah.
You know, I got to a point where I was here, I knew 3 people, and now I'm hanging out with people. I'm golfing, of all things. First of all,
I love golf. We'll golf sometime.
I'll go. If you can, if you have patience.
It's a good time. We do good time golf.
Okay,
it's not.
good.
I don't play by Lindsay's rules. It's a great time.
Right on. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. But let me tell you something. You go golfing and you start meeting these different people, and holy crap, man. Some of the best deals that'll ever happen to you will happen on a golf course. You think it happens in boardrooms and meetings? No way. It's happened to me already.
Good.
And I'm like, wow, just from playing this
And
sport.
I took lessons, I think it's 5 years ago, and that was the reason, because I was asked to do a foursome in one of the tournaments or whatever. And I was like, I've never played, so better learn. So yeah, I took lessons, and I love it, and it's definitely opened some connections, and it's a great time.
That's the next thing I'm doing is lessons. I have not taken lessons yet.
The ones up at Manor, the golf get ready ones, they were really good. There was like 5 or 6 of them. Kind of gives you the basics. I would recommend those.
Okay, I'll check it out because I just got to hit the thing. I'm still having problems with that, man. I mean, my buddy Tony said it best because we both grew up playing baseball.
I played softball. I
mean, but like you can actually hit a ball that moves.
Yes.
It's fast. It's slow. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's
right.
here. You can hit it all day. But a white ball standing still. And it's like.
And I see it with my nephew too. It is a whole different swing, because my he's 5 and he was taking lessons. He played t-ball first and now he's golfing. And you can see that he wants to take a t-ball swing or a baseball swing. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, don't do that because you can hurt yourself. Yeah. And I hurt myself. I have. This finger still doesn't close all the way.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because I hit it really hard on a golf course. This one does. This
Contact
one does it.
Sport.
Oh, my gosh.
Golf club. I was like, screw this thing. Plink, hit the ground.
Yeah.
That wasn't good, man. Don't do that.
It's like when you hit your hands are cold and you hit the ball just goofy right on the end. It's like, and it shoots like all the way up your arms.
It's so dangerous.
I just want to play baseball again.
Yeah.
I would just miss the ball. I would just not.
Many times.
Or I just go.
Many times.
You'll be surprised.
So what's up for you for the future, man? Let us know what your plans are. You know, like you did say before, your reign is coming to an end at GRYP. You'll still be involved, I'm sure, in some capacity, at the Reading Public Museum. But what do you see for yourself, man? Like, let us in a little bit.
I don't know yet. I'm still involved with Junior League pretty heavily, so I would like to kind of do that a little bit more. Possibly Girls on the Run, getting a little bit more involved with that. But I don't know yet. I haven't really decided. I've had a couple leads on where maybe the next board might land me, but I haven't really decided. I was going to kind of take a little bit of time off in January and just kind of think
Why
and kind
not?
of feel things out, especially with everything right now. Everything's really slow.
Yeah.
So take a little bit of time to really feel things out and find my next like passion. Because I'm looking for the next fun thing to do. And so ideas are welcome, but yeah, so
That's awesome.
still
though.
feeling out waters.
Keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
And if you ever need any, sponsor stuff or help with anything,
Yeah,
always
you.
please contact us.
Thank you.
Whitley's buying, so.
Perfect.
Apparently. Ange, do we have any questions today?
No questions.
No questions. All right. Well,
Awesome.
thanks for the questions. Thanks.
See, I told you I wasn't that interesting.
No, it's I
No
feel like the
questions.
holidays are getting
Oh,
it's a little
yeah.
slow
Oh, that's
now.
true.
It's
Yeah.
getting a little slow now, but that's cool. That's what we still want to do these and have
Give
fun. So
insight, yeah.
at the end of the day, I mean,
If anything,
thanks
I
for
learned
coming
something.
in.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know I
No, it
did.
was
I mean,
great.
thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely great.
I love hanging out with you. Every time I get to talk to you, it's always a pleasure. And it's
Me
nice to
too.
just have you come in and just sit down and chat with us and just give us a little bit about, what's happened to you. And we learned things today. Wow, Korea.
Things.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Welding. Well, now if I need some welding, I'm just going to call you, man.
I've only welded one thing. I wouldn't say I was more of like the rod giver, like here you go, or like the whole watch for fires, that kind of thing. I tested things. I wasn't doing anything serious business that like could spring a leak later on. And
Right on, all right. So, you know what? If somebody wants to get in contact with you or GRYP,
Yeah.
where can we reach you guys at?
you can reach me at the museum is the easiest. It's just my email, my name, lindsay.crist@readingpublicmuseum.org, or GRYP is always active on the Greater Reading YP at gmail.org. So there's definitely ways, and Facebook always, Instagram definitely. So social media is pretty active, so somebody's always monitoring.
Right on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
coming in.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you guys
Lindsay.
for having
Appreciate
me.
it.
Really
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
All right.
Yeah,
You
great
have
chatting.
a super holiday.
Yeah.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right. Thank you very
Enjoy.
much. And thank you guys for tuning in again to another Fred Talk. Don't forget, every Tuesday live, 1:30 p.m. right here Eastern Time. We're on the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be on everything else soon, too.
YouTube. Yep.
So
Coming.
YouTube, we got so many things happening in the works. But thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.